Hello everyone, this will be the review of game Norman's Great Illusion, and the key was provided by developer. I did one playthrough of this game in around 19 minutes or so that was a bit weird. And they say it's a visual novel, which to some extent it is. I mean, you make decisions and there is some dialogue. It also has mini games. So I'm just gonna show you a couple of days of life of our character, mainly to show you the mini games, which I consider extremely annoying, and then I will sum up. So let's just go to settings. There is no mouse in the game, sadly. So let's just see this. How does it work? Well, I will just maybe completely switch off sound because otherwise it's gonna be loud at some point. Video, I'm not gonna touch it, but at least it has window mode. That's nice. How many languages? Okay, it's 2 languages. Right, I'm just checking the. Maybe let's go to help. Yes, there is 2 mini games. I'm gonna read about the work minigame because this is extremely annoying in the way you input stuff, right? Let's see how they say. Buttons on the right. Yes, you have to use the buttons on the screen. From what I know, you cannot use numeric keypad or normal keyboard. I'm gonna test it, but that's a big problem. The concept of the game is okay, I must say. The fact that you take decisions and it influences the ending, that's quite nice. And I understand that the developer tried to make it interesting, the whole gameplay experience, but I wouldn't agree with the choice of the mini games, and I'm not sure how deep it goes. I just finished in well 19 minutes because I probably messed up, but all I encountered was those 2 mini games, and they weren't very good. So let's start. If I start, we have 300 money. This is gonna dwindle very quickly. So basically, we have to go to work. Let's just, yeah, I'm just checking recording. We have to go to work. We have to talk to always. We have to always talk to our family. I'm not sure if this is randomly generated or is it always linear. I'm just gonna skip through dialogue because otherwise we'll be sitting here forever. Right, there is this interesting information here where you switch to next phase of the day. Now there is one mini game. You have to click when the bar is in the middle. The small bar is in the middle of the big bar. Right, so this is a sort of quick time event. Otherwise your car breaks or something like that. Now this is this mini game. So I'm gonna try to do it. It's 27, I guess. So yes, the numbers. That's weird. Ah, okay, I get it. The arrows on the numpad work, but you have to do it. Well, you have to do it with arrows and enter. So this one would be 36, right? So you have very little time to do it. This one would be 19, and I can't just. Well, I can barely input it. That's 16. But because those numbers on the keyboard don't work, and you have to do it with arrows, you have to manually move around the small calculator on the screen, makes it horrible. And the other game is also not the very best. It's just a very primitive QuickTime event. So those are the mini games. This one is actually smart because it's about counting. That's not bad, but you would need to be able to use all the keyboard buttons and probably longer timer, because this is rather hard, especially if it's for kids. I'm not sure if it's for kids, probably not, but you know, I know it's for, but before I input it, like this is 21, right? But getting there on the numpad, that's 27. But you know, some people calculate slower. 36, that's 18 probably. Yeah, I can't do that for 12, I guess. Maybe it's 12. Yeah, you have to kinda, that's 2. That's 2. I have to kinda count the number of moves I have to do on the arrows instead of just pressing, you know, 4 and enter. It would be much faster. I don't know why it's done this way. Maybe because you're supposed to fail. Maybe you're supposed to fail and see all the endings. Because probably if things go bad, you get bad ending. Yeah, this one is also not that easy to do. So see, if you mess up, you will probably lose money and you end up with no money. So of course you now have to talk to people again. Problem is you can't really speed it up. Yeah, it goes like this. You talk and you change, you go to bed. Always the same way, at least for what I played. And it just goes on like this, right? Day after day. And then there's some changes to the gameplay. You can make decisions. Events happen. You just pick an option. See, there's 32 days already. It's not day after day. Also, it's said on the Steam explanation that this is a year, so it could be more days, right? It could be just a full year, and not just 365 days, because it's skipping some days. But it's gonna go, if you don't mess up, if you survive, if you make money on the way, you will be probably able to go through a full year. But otherwise, you will just mess up in the middle somewhere. You're gonna break your car or waste money at work and basically go bankrupt. Yeah, I can go this. Last time I did the other thing. And again, the numbers, right? So this is gonna be a nightmare. 36 minus 9, that's 27. Is it? Yes. Yeah, I don't even know. That's probably 18. Yeah, I messed up already. 9, 18 again. It takes forever to input this. Unless you're very quick on keyboard. 13. See, I knew it and I couldn't input it in time. I'm just doing it on the numbers. That's 5, I think. Yeah. Now the same minigame again, right? I'm not sure what's the point of the rest. I mean, there is a small pause and do the same. That's 11. That would be 3. That would be 1. And 8. Oh, and the game stopped. Give me a second. It's choking. That's what happens sometimes. And there we go. 27 minus 9. That's 18. I don't know if I messed up because the game choked. That was 32. 16. Trying to get there. Yeah, we made it. Got a bonus. Let's try to make it home again. Yeah, of course I'm messing up. Eventually probably gonna break your car. I don't see the option to fix it when it's already broken. Like the bar on the left is probably how much your car is broken. So once it breaks, you probably lose money on fixing it or something. See, we got the bonus this time. So we might survive a bit longer. I'm gonna go with one more day, guys. Just one more day. Let's just check the recording. Yeah, one more day and then we'll see. Then we'll wrap it up. Okay, so again, I have to probably go to the table again. I'm not sure, it's not explaining, but I guess you just talk to people, right? And then we do the same again. So there will be the third time the same thing, minus 1 event. That was the same that in previous game. Probably it is linear. I mean, you might make a choice that leads to something else, but if you do the same choice, it's gonna have the same result. I would skip to day 62 and then again some talking, and now we're gonna probably break our car and then we'll mess up at work. Yeah, I like the political quotes in the, well, in the moment when you switch to working mode. Right, so we messed up and now we have to do the counting again. That's 14. That's 4. And that's 6 probably. That's 23. I'm barely making it again. 27, 29. Coffee break, no. 36. That's probably 28. I'm guessing. Right, I'm gonna do the other thing. Last time. So we made a choice. It might affect something. Now we're going for 16. Barely. That's 12. That's 3. That's 2. 18. Ah, almost 21. But yeah, I can't do it. I just can't input it fast enough. That's the biggest problem here. I always mess up and I can make money. Right, we made it. Car is broken. We go to bus stop. We probably waste money. Yeah, we're surviving a little bit more. And another working day, guys. So let's just go to menu. I'm not sure if it saves. Maybe. Maybe it saves. Yeah, I think it saves. So guys, the mini games are very annoying in my opinion. The one with counting would be okay if it had the usage of all the keyboard keys and longer timer. Would be also nice to have something else, not just one mini game all the time. The other one is quite horrible, really. I mean, this is just pushing a button at the right moment. One of the most annoying and primitive time events that I've seen, quick time events. So that's not no fun at all. The one with the car. The one with numbers is better, but still not that good. The decision making is nice, generally speaking, because it leads to different endings, and it is quite interesting in terms of just reading through it and making decisions, and then paying for them. That's quite okay. However, overall, I think this is below standards, because if this was just clear visual novel with choices, especially with better graphics, then at least it wouldn't have the annoying mini games that pretty much mess up the game instead of making it better. Because they are so hard to pull it off, basically you lose money every time. You can't really make money. You can't survive financially. You will mess up the car, you will mess up the mini game, and eventually you will be just broke, and you will just have a choice of couple of endings, the bad ones. But you can't really make a good one unless you're really good at this, unless you're super fast with counting and the keyboard, especially the keyboard, because many times I did the counting but I couldn't input it on time. That was the problem. So I would say it's a bad design choice. Graphically, it's very basic, but maybe it could be okay if the writing is good. If it didn't have the annoying mini games, I would say it's maybe average to some extent as a cheap indie game. In this type of game, I think it's passable, but I would definitely prefer better graphics. When it comes to writing, it's pretty good because it touches interesting subject, the whole politics and making proper decisions in difficult times. That's well done, actually. That's a good idea, but it doesn't really match the rest of the game. So it was interesting to go through it once, maybe twice, but I was very annoyed by mini games, and I think I'm done with it. Maybe I will just finish one or two playthroughs just for the sake of it, and then I will be done with it. And not a long game as well, so if you count quantity to price tag, then of course it's gonna be something horrible. There is of course some playthroughs, but you probably will be done in 2 or 3 hours with everything, so that's not much for your money. I would give it 3. I would give it 3 points out of 10. I think this is just below standard. It might be interesting for some people if you're willing to pay for not much gameplay, but I wouldn't say it's a good package overall. It's just a nice idea, but not done in a very good way. It's not very pleasant to play. Even if you just scrape away all the mini games, it would at least be a well, an below average visual novel with political touch, and with it, it's just annoying visual novel that was already downgraded. So yeah, that's why it's 3 points. Probably I would give 4 or 5 if it wasn't annoying. To make it better, you would need to have well, more content, better graphics, and either no mini games or something better in quality, and actually something that you could play and have fun out of it. And maybe not just the numbers, maybe also something else like 4 or 5 actually interesting mini games without the annoying timer. So then it would be much better. Also, settings should have a slider, not just on and off. And you should be able to use a mouse in a visual novel. Like, this is pretty much a standard. You want to click stuff, you want to save the game anytime you want, check the backlog and all that stuff. So, well, using just keyboard, I see no point. We are on PC. 2019, I think we could use a mouse on every game. I don't see the point why not do it. So yeah, for me that was 3 out of 10. I can't recommend it unless you're extremely interested in the topic and you get cheap, then maybe. but aside from that I can't recommend it. However, yes, on the conceptual level and the topic of the game, you might be slightly interested. So if you grab it in some very cheap package, it might be worth well, playing through in one afternoon. But aside from that, it's generally speaking below standard. Okay guys, so that was Norman's Great Illusion, 3 out of 10, and I'll see you guys in the next review.